Ready to elevate your life? Join me on the Vitality Vibe podcast for inspiring conversations on holistic wellness, personal growth, and sustainable success while nourishing your body, mind, and soul. It's time to reclaim your radiance. In the blue zone of Ikaria, Greece, the residents believe that the only reason they live past 100 years is not because of what they eat, but because every night a chair is sat at their table, hoping that somebody they don't know shows up and shares that meal with them. They never ask each other, "What did you eat last night?" but always ask, "Who did you eat with last night?" My hope with this podcast is that you leave a seat open at your table and welcome today's guest to your meal in a toast to the biodiversity of your nourishment. Are you ready to elevate your life and rediscover your inner radiance? Well, join me on the Vitality Vibe podcast for inspiring conversations on holistic wellness, personal growth, and sustainable success. Inspired by the blue zone of Ikaria, Greece, where residents believe that connection is their key to longevity, I invite you to open your table to today's guest. Let's explore how holistic wellness can transform your life and empower you to thrive. So get ready to be energized. Are you a professional seeking to level up not just in your career, but in your life? Then you've come to the right place. Today we have the incredible Vanessa Emerson joining us. Now this woman is a force of nature. Not only is she a recognized business strategist, a wellness educator, and an MC, she's also a sought-after influencer who's been making waves in the professional world. Vanessa is known for her incredible ability to mentor professionals like you in business developing, marketing, conscious leadership, you name it. And get this, she's even a Chopra certified total well-being coach and health meditation instructor. It's time for an episode packed with actionable insights and inspiring stories. It's time to unlock your full potential, and Vanessa Emerson is here to show you how. Let's get started. Well, welcome to the Vitality Vibe, Vanessa Emerson. It's an honor to have you here, and I can't wait to get into this conversation with you.
Thank you for having me. I have been looking forward to this. Anytime I spend with you, Laura, honestly, just warms my heart, and I'm so excited about what you're doing with this podcast. Thank you for inviting me.
You're so welcome. And yeah, we always have great conversations. So it's fun to hit record and capture one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, my first question is for you is I'm curious about a time in your life that was a challenging period, that afterwards you emerged stronger or changed in a positive way.
There are challenges in life for all of us, right? We all have challenges. Some might feel bigger or more strenuous or traumatic than others. I think, I've been lucky that I've had a really, in the scheme of things, when you look around, you can see that I haven't had as hard a life as some people have, and I'm very grateful for that. And I think that there are some responsibilities that come along with that too, but that's not the question. But when I think about in my life, what really was challenging that I've grown the most from would be raising children, which, and I don't just mean the raising of them, because I mean, it's such a lovely and hard thing to do. We love them so much, and it's a whole other person, in each child. So I think for me, as somebody who's now in my 60s, as I look back on the time when my young people became young adults and left the house, I think that's hard for so many parents, and I bet you can relate to that. And there's so much of a grieving as well as it's like it's uncharted territory And how does this person want to be treated now that they're an adult? Right? And when they get in their 30s and look back like, oh yeah, I was 18. I thought I knew everything, right? Like we did. And I think for me as a mom, I was never the mom that was like, oh, give me the baby. I was the one that was like, oh my gosh, they can talk and they can think and we can do things together. That was the most exciting for me. Like kindergarten was not a crying time. It's like, yes, go learn, and so that's how I'm wired. So as they got older and became adults, I think I just wanted to be there because I love seeing them learn and grow. And what I found was, even as much as that's hard and it hurts, is the letting, that really is the letting go that gives them that space in which they turn back around. And that's the beautiful gift from it for me was each person's going to take their own time, but I find that so many people do come back to that family that you created along the way, and that feel and that support. So for me, when I think of challenging periods, that's one that pops up. It's like, and that was really just more about me and my growth. I really, can I just add one addendum? I know that nowadays, especially, I'm the tail end of the boomer generation. And I know that many millennials, or the next generation, the Z, I think don't want to have kids. And that's cool. Everybody has their own path, right? And I would say though, for me, I'm so grateful I did, because it really is the hardest thing you will ever do, is to raise up another person to be, so much of it's just luck too, but the growth and everything. I completely respect when someone has a decision not to have kids. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, wow, like the growth of who I am today, I think so much of it goes back to being a mom. Would you agree for your experience?
Yeah. I think that it really puts you through lots of mini challenges on a daily basis, and just navigating those, not just for yourself, but for another human. And I'd like to put a bookmark there, because I love what you said about just letting go.
Yeah.
Letting them go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But giving them that space.
Yeah. And I want to really fully just say, like, I am not judging when somebody chooses not to, because we all have different paths. I just really want to say that, because I fully respect that. I'm just saying, for me, it was one of the most challenging periods. It would be like a 20-year period with raising kids, and all you learn during that.
Did you have any special guides or mentors during that time of letting go that you can think back at?
Oh, during the letting go piece, I think it was the guides and mentors for me started probably when I was 18, and stepping out as an adult and recognizing, for me, it was definitely tied around personal development as well as like spiritual development, and defining for me what God was. And I went through a lot of research and trial of tried different things on to see what was a right fit for me. So I've been a student of self-development for over 40 years. So when you get to that place where you have I knew I needed to let go, because you'd learned enough along the way. So I think, to answer your question fully, for me, it would have been early mentors would have been, they don't realize they're mentors, but like Wayne Dyer, Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra, which Deepak is still a mentor to me, even though Deepak is not personally in my life, but going through the Chopra Center's certifications, I gravitated toward Deepak's teachings, even though like when Deepak talks, you're like, what? It's like so high level and there's like so deep, but I just like, you just know in there, there's wisdom. So for me, I always reach out to I guess I would just say personal development experts like Brene Brown, or people that speak to you. We all have somebody different that speaks to you, to your soul, to your heart. And that's really what helped me, was all those years of, and really, I mean, I didn't think we were going to be talking about raising kids today, but that's kind of where we're going with this. Because even like, for me, it started with all the challenges of just trying to have a family and work and have a living and maintain your relationship and be happy. Because let's face it, life is not easy until it is. And we can choose for it to be, because it's really us that's assigning the belief to all of those, like those stressors. And I think that's what I learned along the way. Another one that's popping in mind, somebody who said that is, life is difficult until it's not. I think it's what she said, Dr. Sue Morter, Morter. And I heard her speak at National Speakers Association probably almost 20 years ago. And just, there's too many to mention, but she was definitely pivotal as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I did happen to spend some time with her. I do know her, but like really through the education that all these people make available. I mean, it's all online, right? Nowadays, there's so much
I know
you can find. There's no reason not to find help.
Yeah. Back in the day, it was probably like cassette tapes, and right, like way back when.
Like Tony Robbins, it was a great big hard plastic thing, right, with all the cassettes. Yep. And then we did the Unleash the Power Within. I think you did that too, yes. Firewalker.
Yes.
Firewalker.
Oh, awesome. Well, those are awesome guides. And thanks for sharing that with us. And
you're welcome.
Yeah, I really like that, that life is hard until it's not.
Yeah. That's a Sue Morterism.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's really true that we can decide.
Yeah. And that's it seems like a radical statement, but when you really drill it down, it's not. So
agreed. It's all about mindset.
Yeah. Oh, mindset. Awesome. Well, that brings up my next question, mindset. So I'm curious if you have any unique traditions, rituals, or practices, mindset shifts that have shaped your journey through life to where it is now.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, right? Because I'm so deep in the woo and deep in the self-development piece. So I would tell you where I'm at now, and then we can just assume that along the way I learn from different people, right? So I would like to go to habits, right? So if we say, traditions, beliefs, rituals, so like habits, a daily meditation habit is key to having a more fulfilling life in the world according to Vanessa. So whether some people will hit their knee, hit their knees to the floor to pray in the morning, first thing, or nighttime, same idea. It's that having that time carved out where in my belief system, it's more of it's more than a belief system, right? It's more of a well-being practice. It's more of a silencing all the noise. And for me, it's RPM. You've heard me say this before, Laura. I think it's so powerful. Rise, pee, meditate. Before you do anything else, before you look at Facebook, before you feed the cat, before you go on a walk, before you do all the things, when you first get up, and as in the people that I've coached around this, they've said, well, how do I make sure that happens? I say, have a chair sitting nearby. If it's cold in the morning, have a blanket, have a pillow to lean back on. Have your slippers there so that you can get up. I don't even turn on the lights. Like we have night lights everywhere. So go to the bathroom, wash your hands, brush your teeth if you have to. But then go back and sit down. I would suggest you don't even have to brush your teeth yet. It's really that powerful, because Rumi has a somebody said something once, just a quote, something about the morning breeze has secrets to tell you. Oh, don't you love that? It's like when you wake up, when you first wake up and you're still holding on to wherever you were, whatever you were thinking. There often are messages there. I find it's the same idea. Before we get that coffee or like jumpstart our digestion with water or whatever we're going to start drinking, the sitting back in that calm is just so yummy, right? It's so yummy. And for me, I go through multiple mantras to be able to help myself even come down further than where I was when I started. So often at that time of morning, you're just in this really relaxed state. And so I'll often start with an Om. I have a mantra that is from primordial sound, which the idea of that is that at the time of my birth, there was a sound that the universe made, and it's a mantra that we use to just hearken back to the fact that there's something bigger going on here than just Vanessa being born on this planet. So it kind of brings me back there. And then I start going through the Reiki principles. If we talk about different practices that have shaped where I'm at today, my Reiki training as a master and teacher was definitely pivotal. I believe that everybody has the ability to tap into the energetic forces within them, whatever we want to call that. And Reiki is the way to focus that toward our own self-healing or helping others. And so there are 5 principles of Reiki that I've modified into my own little mantras. And so I basically say those couple of things. And as I say them in this state where I'm sitting with my eyes closed and I'm just relaxing, I'm really concentrating on the words and the meaning and the feeling. I just feel myself, it's like you landmark where you're going to go quickly back to where you've gotten before. It's like, anything you practice. If you hike a mountain and you get to the point you can hike it really quickly up and down, it's like that getting back to where it's always going to be faster than when it was the first time you hiked that mountain. So it helps me get back quickly to this place of receiving and listening and just allowing, letting go, allowing. And the reason this all ties back into a more fulfilling life is we know there's just many studies around the benefits of breath work and meditation and calming our nervous system down. We could go into a whole medical discussion around this, but there's also a spiritual component to that. I like the word spiritual. It could be whatever term you want to say there. There's a component of just touching back to the truth of who you be, the truth of who we be at our core. As spiritual beings having a human experience in my belief system. And so I feel like that daily meditative, and that's where prayer can be so similar, that daily meditative retouching back to like our goals and what we're hoping to achieve with our life. I think it just helps us stay on a path. It helps us not spin out over an election, spin out over talks about war, spin out over like, oh my gosh, the shipping people on the East Coast are going to, that's going to affect my ability to buy toilet paper. It's like people can spin out over, we can spin out over anything. And when we have this habitual practice of being able to calm ourselves down and just remind ourselves like, it's all going to be okay. Even with all those things, it's all going to be okay. I mean, there are other practices and rituals and like training that I could talk about, but for me, meditation it's the bomb. It's the thing. It's the one. Everything else starts falling into line if we can just get this into our day to day. I brush my teeth every morning. Mm-hmm. Why can I not include this? Like we get showers, we feed ourselves. There's no reason not to have a practice daily. Well, that's a big answer.
That's a great answer, though. I love. Thank you for sharing how you drop in, and because I think it's personal for everyone, but I think for some people, even people that have been meditating for a long time, to hear how somebody else does it can foster maybe some creativity in their practice.
For sure. I think trying different things, I actually left part of it out because I was trying to truncate. There's some other things I say. And then I also put on my phone the ocean. I've tried listening to crickets, or it's just not the same. I like listen to other rain or something. It's got to be the ocean for me. And I go to Oahu in my mind, like my happy place. And then also a timer. I think a key for people who are wanting to play with meditation is also play with the timers on your phone. I downloaded a sound bowl from Amazon. It's like $1.39 to get an MP3. And then I emailed it to my phone and then I just saved it and used it as my alarm for this. And I set myself an alarm so that at 15 minutes in, I'll start hearing the sound bowl, and it's really quiet. It starts getting louder. So it's not like a gong or like an oh, it's all of a sudden very loud. I find that too startling.
Love it.
I could talk about meditation for an hour. I'm realizing I need to.
It's okay. It makes me curious too, because I know that Reiki is a big part of your life. And so I'm curious, we talk about the morning. How about the evening? Any Reiki practices or routines or rituals at the evening to kind of shut down the day?
I think evening is really important. And I am transparently out of my evening meditation practice. I struggle with evening meditation because I am one of these person who I think this is very much a gift. I can go to sleep in 1 minute. I am not kidding you. Anytime, anywhere. I know how to turn it off and just go to sleep. And so my challenge at the end of the day is staying awake. And so when I do meditate, I would typically leave my desk before I head back to like the family experience. That would be when I would like 5 to 7 minutes. And again, for me, it's more mantra based. And I would like, I'm not trying to completely let go there because otherwise I'll be gone. And we can train ourselves to fall asleep when we meditate. And I don't want to do that. But I think there are so many other great habits for the evening, like turning off the television and not even having the TV on. I like to listen to Audible books, even business. It doesn't have to be something that could be a novel, but I like learning. So having something on Audible and you hear it is somehow different. But I would strongly encourage people to think about what they put in their mind before they lay down, because it'll follow you to sleep. Right.
Right. Maybe not good to have a murder mystery or something that could keep you.
Like even last night I was dreaming about, somebody I was talking to my mom about somebody in our family, and like that whole conversation of somebody who's not doing well health wise and stuff made their way into our conversation in my sleep dream.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, it's fascinating and to think then that what we could just put in our minds before that 1 minute before we fall asleep, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, like really, like people talk about that. Like, so then there's the going to sleep subscriptions you can have. Like I think Calm has those where they like subliminal messaging and that type of thing. That's interesting to play with.
Yeah. Well, I'm like you. I'm right. I can fall asleep in under a minute. And in fact, my husband took a unflattering photo of me asleep yesterday. And I said, you need to quit taking those unflattering sleeping photos of me. Because he's like, you can fall asleep anywhere. I'm like, yes, I can.
Yeah, my husband too. He's like, I can't believe this. It's a gift.
It is a gift. It is a gift. So awesome. Well, last question for you. What specific connections or experiences have been nourishing and pivotal for you and your soul in fostering a sense of purpose?
So there are many, I think, for all of us, right? Because I feel like it builds. So if I think back to the 18-year-old striking out on her own, like feeling like the way I was raised with that religious experience it doesn't work for me. So like trying to figure out for me, and it's like it starts stacking. So like the Wayne Dyers I mentioned, like right back in the day, and Wayne's amazing. And all those, and then like trying all of the different experiences and trying different mentors, but also trying different, when you say connections, it makes me think of groups along the way of people. It's just built along the way. When I was in my 20s, I learned astrology, and that was helpful. And I couldn't tell you now anything much about it because it was so long ago, but like that was a piece of it for me. Or learning about crystals at one point was a piece of it, but like I'm not like there now. Like, it just keeps growing. I think what's brought me to the place I am at this moment, and I really didn't expect it to be Deepak Chopra. Never expected that. Like listening, reading all the books. I love the 7 spiritual laws of success. Love that. And that is a piece of the program I'm doing now. So what experiences? If anybody feels called to meditation, I highly recommend their program. Through the Chopra Center has now sold out to Institute for Integrative Nutrition, but you can still learn through the Chopra educators, and it's all still the same program. So like for me, it started with the meditation wasn't available right then, so I started with the health and well-being teacher certification. And there I learned about Ayurveda, 5,000-year-old from India, 5,000-year-old lifestyle medicine. And it's all truths that are applicable today. Like we need to get sleep. We need to move our bodies. We need to eat whole, like let's not even start on plant-based whole foods, right? Because like you and I could go for 3 hours on that one. But like there's so much research around it. So the Ayurvedic lifestyle, and it's really, again, it's not religion at its core. It's more lifestyle, daily practices that help us be healthy. That was so important. Then I took the meditation training. Then I took their total health and well-being coaching certification. And now I've started the yoga certification just recently. And my people who know and love me were like, "You're doing what? Like, you don't even do yoga." And like, I did once before. You know what, Laura? I did once before, and I literally fell asleep in the meditation because I can't, like, they had me flat on my back on the floor. I'm like, I can't do this. So I was listening to my gut. And I think I'm probably going to love this one the most of all of them. And what I learned is that yoga is really a frame of mind. It's a lifestyle choice. There are principles that would be similar to many philosophical systems, like doing no harm, speaking only the truth. It's values and morals at its core. It's about focusing on our breathing. It's meditation is one of the limbs. Like all these things are new to me. Like there's probably listeners who are like, well, yeah, that's yoga. But like, I didn't know that. And so the poses are just one piece of it. And the poses are even so much more than, it's not an exercise routine. So what your question was like, what specific conditions or what experiences have brought me to the point where I really fostered my sense of purpose. All of these have come to support the fact that I know there are 2 truths about my life on this earth. One is that I'm a connector, and I am going to wear that title loud and proud because I am a master connector of people. I know this. One is I'm a connector. And the second is that I know I'm a teacher. So what I know is that all this learning over the last 40 plus years is all going to culminate into this one, which is going to lead us into talking about expansion. Is that okay? But where I'm at right now is bringing that forth, right? Bringing that forth into the birthing into the world, experiences in person or virtually, where those who want more, how do I say this? Like better well-being. I'm trying to find a better way to say that, but to improve their well-being, to improve their happiness, to have more fulfilling lives, have those resources. It's really connecting people with what they're looking for and as well as teaching.
Mm. How fun to like look back at how this has brought you here.
Yeah.
How fun.
Yeah. You know, and it was a lifetime of building, right? For all of us, I feel like sometimes we're earlier in the journey, we feel like, I'm just not getting there. Or I know it's something, but this isn't quite it. And there's like that frustration
Mm-hmm.
that takes us back to the letting go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sure does.
And allowing it to unfold in the right time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and it is. So you hinted a little there, but tell us a little bit about expansion coming up in January.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I'd
Mm-hmm.
love to. Expansion is still becoming. Expansion has been slowly unfolding for just a couple of years. This past January, we had our first like separate event where we had about 50 people, I think, there, and probably 18 or 20 educators in a couple days together, a lot of short presentations on a wide range of diverse topics around self-development. We do go into spirituality, but we also talk about leadership and communication. And it's a wide range. What I would share about expansion is expansion is a movement. Expansion is a verb, right? Just like I feel like I'm a verb, just like my new brand, the evolving. Like I work with people who speak and coach like they're experts, right? So I'm not the expert necessarily as much as like all of us are experts. Um, we are in our community, right? Just like as you as well, experts in dentistry and self-development and, so many things. So expansion as a verb is going to continue to expand, and it's going to speak to the gut of the people who, I shouldn't say need to be there as much as like their next right step is there. Expansion is, yes, about the education, but it really wasn't, it's not where you go to like deep dive on how to be a meditation expert. It's more of a hands-on, up and moving, interacting, very much soul to soul level. It's a beautiful experience. And I think it's one of those that you have to experience in order to really understand. But it's a outpouring of love and acceptance and in a safe place. Primarily we're professionals. So we're not all speakers, we're just professionals of some sort, but really I would say anyone's invited. Anyone's invited to attend if you're retired, if you're a teen and this talks to you, if you're coming with your folks. I would say it's not for little ones, but I would say it's for those who are interested in developing self. It's the first weekend of the year. And I've struggled to find the right words yet for it. So I feel like this is a very wordy explanation of what it is. It's an experience. It's a filling up your buckets. Someone told me last year, someone that I really respect in our community for education, Catherine, Artel Belt, one of our good friends, told me, I'm sure Catherine won't mind saying this, because Catherine and I go way back as friends, but the first day she pulled me aside, she said, V, the way you have built one presentation on top of the other, she said, this is just magnificently, masterfully curated. And I told her the truth is that I didn't really give it that much thought. The truth of the matter is it's coming through me. And if that speaks to anyone in your audience who's listening to that, the truth is those who need to be there are being sent to me. I'm listening. I'm putting them on the program. I'm just going to kind of like put people in gaps, and it just comes together into this amazing, beautiful, transformational experience. And thank you. Thank you for letting me share this. I think on its own expansion will explode. And it's not about me. I'm just the lucky person that gets the meeting room reserved and knows how to market and to get it out to people. It really is the beauty of the people in the room like yourself and so many other people that are there. It really is a beautiful, beautiful experience and a great way to start your year if you're wanting to make changes in the coming year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and
yeah, what a beautiful, I just think about the expansion as everybody goes out from expansion and expands, it is. And so a beautiful name and a phenomenal event. I would highly recommend. We'll make sure and put our link in the show notes below. And listeners, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to Vanessa or I about it. We will be happy to share more. Yeah. But aside from expansion and the in-person experience, you also do a lot of virtual, and you have one coming up called Presence in Practice. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I do. And thank you. I do a lot of workshops, and I do have this coming up in January. So this is my gift back to the world. It really through the filter of the Ayurvedic coursework that I've done. It is how do we cultivate present moment awareness? How do we focus on like nutrition for optimal health? It's understanding how our body can heal itself often when we do certain things. So it's really about that, right? Breaking down and establishing a healthy daily routine. We'll talk about meditation and breath work, but it's a lot more than that. It's a 3-hour virtual meeting. It will be January 31st, which is going to be here like before you know it, right? We'll just blink. So the website is presenceinpractice.life. And the entry fee is $100 donation to my favorite cat rescue.
I love that.
I love that too. We've done this before. We've raised thousands of dollars for animal rescue. And so it's just these little drops in that bucket that make all the difference for those animals that really need help. So, and I should also say, I think raising fur children is like raising children for those who are listening.
Exactly. Aw. Well, we'll make sure and have that link in our show notes as well. And yeah, thank you for sharing with us today. You are radiant, and this podcast is Reclaim Your Radiance, and you are radiant. So just knowing that if someone is feeling that maybe they need a little more, maybe they can capture some of the gifts that you've shared with us today and apply them to their life. So
I would love to have a conversation with anyone who would like to. If it spoke to their heart, they can just email me, info@vanessaemerson.com. I'd be happy to hop on, give you an hour, and how can I share resources or help you? I think, Laura, one of the most important work that you're doing, that we're doing, that so many are doing, is the helping to heal the planet. Helping to heal the people on the planet. And I think the more we can give this knowledge, like so many have poured into me, I'm happy to pour back. And thank you for pouring into me today and honoring me in this way. And I hope it's been helpful to somebody who's listened.
Yeah. Wow. Always wonderful to talk to you. And thank you again for spending some time with us. And
thank you.
Yeah, listeners, I hope you enjoyed the Vitality Vibe today. Let's reclaim your radiance, and we'll see you on the next episode.